I am so excited. More Fargo parts. We've got 10-speed Roadranger. Somebody told me that a couple gear changes in the back and you can turn a non-overdrive to an overdrive. We've got pilot-operated hydraulic valve body, so I can run that outside or inside, which is awesome. So we got that. Means we've got a giant hydraulic pump to run all this goodness. Oh, now we got the perfect truck. Hydraulic brakes, Fargo cab, DT466, 10-speed Roadranger, awesome hydraulics. I'm so excited. The story is he bought it from a farm auction just down the road.
Lightly seized.
In my head, it'll be super quick. We'll pull the cab off, put the Fargo on it. Even though you guys said, let's keep the 5-spoke, keep it looking old. It's not what we do on the boss. And I know I caused a lot of extra issues for me with these super singles. They look so good. And this is why Edison is building their trucks with 1/2-inch frames. Man, I love it when a plan comes together. Super singles are not practical. Why did I do it? Because I've got lots of trucks with duals. So this is kind of an odd transmission, and we had to hold out for the proper one. Slowly getting all the pieces figured out to make an awesome roll-off. I said I wasn't gonna get carried away. I said that this was gonna be a budget build. Time to go grab some new goodies for the Fargo. So everything up there is kind of a bonus. That's what we want. But if the engine's good, then we'll definitely keep it. Okay, she's got the little old kitty cat in there. So this truck that moves all of that has the same engine as that truck. Look at that, cool. Now, taking a little bit of a gamble here because it's obviously in the scrapyard. So there's something wrong with it. I know the hood's a little bit damaged and the front axle's missing, and that makes me think that the front axle was still good. That leaves the back axle, the transmission, it's rotten, the engine, or it's just too old. It's got 160,000 kilometers on it, which is 100,000 miles. So that engine is spoken for. Somebody wants the engine. That I would pull right out and throw in something. Something else is broken. What is it? The frame is typical, you know. It's okay. That's just the first couple layers of steel. Hopefully it's the frame. It's a salter, so they rot pretty quick. Luckily the hydraulics were leaking, so it doesn't look too rusty back there. But we will find out what that is. Hydraulic tank, got a valve on it, luckily this is closed. Hopefully the pump is still good, but pretty straightforward to pull the cab off. Some AC lines, some electrical lines, and there's really not that much. If I can get at the mounts and the mounts come out, then the cab should come off pretty easy. Here we go. Okay, so took the fairings off, torched these 2 bolts on either side, took the back 2 mounts off, basically took just the valve body on the top, cut all the hoses going to it, removed the steering column, removed my clutch linkage, and all the air lines for the brake assembly and the air conditioning lines, and we're good to lift this off. So a couple straps through the top, and we'll grab a beam and some forks, lift her straight up. Here we go. Okay, we'll torch a couple mounts. Just these 2 bolts here, 2 on the very front, and then some piping and some hoses and some fuel lines, and this is ready to come out. Oh, and drive shaft. See how well that works with the drive shaft. And there's my grinder, I was looking for that. Got my good old Princess Auto straps. Hopefully that's enough to yank it out. and then we'll see. We'll go from there. Here we go. Okay, so there it is. Everything's out, nice and neat. I might grab the air dryer yet and the valve body, and then we're good. A little disappointing because there's no hydraulic pump on this transmission, but the roll-off that we bought just for the roll-off system does have a pump on it. So I wanted to have two just in case one was better than the other, but we'll just have to stick with that one. You win some, you lose some, but slowly getting all the pieces figured out to make an awesome roll-off. There we go. Okay boys, pressure washer all off. Took the front cover off and oh, look at this. It's like it's brand new inside. You can even see, when I was spinning it, it's still got the timing paint on it. So what you want to try and look for is marks on the teeth, where they're like scratch marks. You can just see them there, these lines there, but that's not so bad. Everything looks really, really good inside. The cover looks really good. So when it goes into 2 gears at the same time, it doesn't spin. That's also a good sign. But looking good. So this is kind of an odd transmission, and we had to hold out for the proper one because one, we needed the small bell housing. So that's kind of a pain to get. You can obviously pull this bell housing off and stick it on another one, but sourcing one is, they want money for it, and this is the right now. It's a small input shaft, but it's a big output shaft. It's still the big U-joints and yokes at the back. So I don't know whether that's coarse spline or fine. I might have to swap that. I forget what's on the bus, but we'll worry about that later. Now, it's funny because these are straight gears. They don't, if you see the gear that drives the PTO pump here, that's what the older ones are like. So this is a newer transmission. I have the tag right here, or where there used to be a tag, I can see the rivets, and there's a little bit of the plate left just stuck behind the rivet, but no tag. So I have no idea what this is. So what we're gonna do is put some air to it, air to this, and then hook these two back up again. And then we're golden. I have to find that airline again. Of course, I shouldn't have cut it, but I did. So now I'm here. But we will put the knob on there, and then I don't know if I need another shifter cover because I need the shifter as far forward as possible because my bench seat is right about here. And that's where the shifter is. So we can bend it around, but it'd be nicer if it was just kind of right there. But anyway, I think the whole day was worth it. It was good. So we'll put it back together again and see if we got overdrive. Why do I need overdrive? I keep saying that. It's not because I need it for driving around here. It's fine. It's just we plan on taking something to Holly, Bowling Green, Kentucky at some point. That's 14-hour drive. 14 hours with direct drive, 12 hours, 11 hours with overdrive. So I'd rather, when we're going down the highway, because we don't have a heavy load, it's just a car or a truck or something, I would much rather do it with overdrive. So now's the time to do it. All right, so this is the transmission that I want, but it is not overdrive. So somebody in the comments mentioned that you can switch fourth and fifth around to make it overdrive. If you are in the area, the Niagara area, and you know how to do that, and you have a shop that does that, we'd love to pay for you to do it. I've never done it before, so I either need a manual or I need somebody experienced to do it. We'll pay you for that, obviously, as long as we can record it, because we'd like to show you guys how to do that. If somebody's got the manual on a PDF and can send that to me and I'll do it without any help, that's fine too. I just need exact instructions on how to do it. But for now, we'll put this away until we get the rest of the truck and together in the pieces. And then we'll try and make this build as seamless as possible once we have everything. So yeah, on to the next thing. Here we go. Okay, so leaves are upside down, which means that it's a great day for kite surfing or catamaraning or sailing, but a bad day to spray paint outside. So instead of spraying, I'm just going to brush as much of this as I can in an hour. And we're gonna get a pile of runs because all the paint is gonna come out of these holes anyway, but this is just the inside layer. We're gonna cover this up and the inside will look pretty decent. But we're just gonna splash some trim clad on here with the brush and spray in the morning. But oh man, look at this. Look at, I said I wasn't gonna get carried away. I said that this was gonna be a budget build. I lied again. I don't know what's wrong with me. I have to do things right, but you don't have to. You could keep that a budget build. Don't paint it. Don't put brand new tires on it. Find some old used rubber. It's so pretty. Look at that. Look at it. Even with the fenders open, that's just a gorgeous truck. But anyway, I'm going to brush some trim clad on there, try to keep it from rusting overnight. Here we go. Up to our nice roll off and time to go grab some new goodies for the Fargo. I'm excited. Here we go. Okay, there they are. Mine is buried in the back somewhere, I'm sure. I told them I was coming, but then I got a new phone and my Facebook wasn't in there and I was communicating through Facebook. So I hope it's somewhat accessible because I got a lot of trucks. So this is JB Trucks and Stuff. It's an extremely busy road, so I hope we can do this quick. Okay, I think there's some brakes with the stoplights, so, and he's got a nice big driveway, so we're gonna back up. And then our float truck is way at the back there. As long as nobody T-bones me or runs up the back ramp or goes flying, it's gonna go pretty slick. Here we go. So we got her backed in, no issues. Good flag man there. Now he's forklift operator. It's just longer forks welded on the shoulder fork. Glad to see that. She is, isn't it beautiful? Isn't that just gorgeous? 5-spoke, but this is what we want right here. This little thing right here. We got the cylinders, we got a nice winch, a nice big plate to put on. It does have the double frame, but we'll put that on something else. And it's the perfect size, I hope, I think. But it also pivots at the bottom there. So that's much better, you know. So it's not a bad unit, I think. The cylinders are still good, and the reason I scrapped it was the engine light. So we've got air dryer, we've got compressor, lots of good parts. So I only looked at this thing in the winter. I assumed that because the cab was DT466 mechanical. That it is not. That is a computer. What engine's in this thing? It's DT466E?
It's a big fella.
Oh.
I think the motor's good. My mechanic said it's but I don't believe it.
Okay.
I think he's full of shit. Newfie, I got it. I bought it from a Newfie, neat guy. She may come to life.
Okay. All right, well, I'll have to try and figure it out.
You seem like a fairly honest guy.
Nice.
Fairly.
That's fine. I think he's gonna pull the bumper out for me. That's handy. I hear it that way. Yeah. So a little dilemma, unbuilt fancy ramps that lifted up the tires, and now the selling feature of this roll-off is now hitting the trailer. I already scratched it.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, it's terrible. So, I'm gonna put some boards underneath, just get it up.
Now we're live already.
You coming? Do you have enough power? Can you climb the ramps? Yeah, okay. Yeah, you're good. The front needs to go that way here, and then you're good. Okay. You got working brakes too? Are you kidding? Right there. Stop. Good. Down. Stay. And it's off. All right, paperwork's done. We're all strapped down. We're only a few scratches. Took the bumper off, but I still had to put it up onto the back there. 5 chains, 5 binders, and I put the brakes on. Should be good. So yeah, if you need some white service vehicles, if you need a ladder rack or a beacon or a bulldozer, or check this thing out. Walked right past it. We should buy this and fix this up. This thing looks pretty sick. I think there's a raccoon family in here, so we get that too. Oh, well, that's kind of sad. It's got a big guard over all the moving parts. Anyway, Mini X. Anyway, I'm out of here. I'm gonna go home. I got lots of other stuff to do. Here we go. Okay, so we're home, and I got the truck. Now I need to unload it, but it'd be a lot cooler if I drove it off rather than pushed it off, because we know that it can go on and off a trailer if a giant payloader pushes it. This cab, I swore it was an 80s cab, and when he said DT466, I thought, awesome, I got another mechanical DT466. It's a DT466E. Now there's a big difference between DT466 and having a mechanical pump and a electronic pump. So there could be multiple things wrong with this one. We'll go over that in a second. Now keep in mind, we only bought this thing for the roll-off. This everything up there is kind of a bonus. That's what we want. But if the engine's good, then we'll definitely keep it. But look at this, hours. We've got 17,844. Now, whether you're in metric or imperial, 17,000 is a lot of hours. Either it's been rebuilt once or it's pretty tight. 513,708 kilometers, which is like 350 is not terrible, but that's a lot of engine hours. This transmission also has overdrive and 5-speed, but it's electronic and has no use to it. These engines really are not desirable. They're still a robust DT466, but the electronics give too much trouble. So what's happening is we need a cam sensor to give a signal to the computer that you're actually turning something. You've got a CP port on your pump. You've got HEW injection system, so if you've got a high pressure oil leak, it's not going to run. If the cam or the CP rail or the ICP doesn't like what it sees, it's not going to run. And when we had one of these in the shop way back when, we did an oil change and it wouldn't start after the oil change. And somebody, the next day, it would fire up. And what we thought was our pump nozzle was putting air in the oil, and then the oil wouldn't have enough to fire the injector. So we diagnosed this thing for hours and hours and hours, left it, and then it would fire again the next day. They didn't have an issue again for a long time. So it's too finicky of an engine. It's too they're not high in resale, and even the ECUs, sometimes the ECUs are worth more than what the engine is. And even these ECUs only go for like $200-300 to prove that it works. I would, however, like to get it running to make sure that the roll-off unit is functioning as it should, that the cylinder's working, that they don't pour oil out the end. But we'll throw a battery on it, and then we'll see if we can get this thing to fire. Covers off the air filter means that it was full of ether. So I'm not expecting much. We bought this thing in the winter. We drove by. We were on the way to somewhere else. We stopped by. I didn't pay enough attention as to what I should have inside the cab. It was under snow, but I did like the roll-off unit, so I left it at that. So let's see if we can get this thing going. Here we go. Okay, so first off, we got a bunch of wires. This negative goes to here and then ends up on a bunch of corroded battery cables right here. That's kind of silly. I'm not sure what exactly is going on with them needing that much power back here. Maybe an electric winch or something, I don't know. But what we need is this positive one and this negative one, which both go to the starter. These positives are to feed the cab, and I'm not sure the whites and whatever's going on there, but we'll just put a bunch to positive. This has a fuse in it, so it's probably positive. But this, I think, was in line, and that was another positive that plugged into those two connectors. This had a fuse in there. I think it's like a 40 amp fuse, but it's not enough. They act up sometimes, so when you go to crank it, the computer doesn't get enough power to see that it's cranking over, and it doesn't start sometimes. So the best thing to do is get rid of these and put a maxi fuse in there, like one of those big ones. These small ones don't work. For the sake of us not caring about the computer, we're just going to put everything nice and put new ends on it and just put it right to positive. If it's a negative, it'll spark really a lot, and then we'll just put that onto the negative. That's all I'm doing. These two, I think, are negative. Nothing sparking. So I imagine these two are negative, and because this one is long, this one is probably positive. And we're going to get rid of that fuse and this connector here and just go straight to positive. It's going to fire right up. We got key powers on, we got gauges on. Not 100% sure whether it's positive or negative, so the safest thing to do is probably touch it to negative. That's not doing anything. Touch it to positive. That's not doing anything either. So I'm just gonna stick this one on positive. Okay, so if the diesel's not getting fuel, it won't run. If it won't run, it's probably because it's not getting fuel. I've got my in here. I put that to my little electric pump here and leftover fuel from my Silverado because I don't care about that. I snapped the fitting off on the return line so I can pop the return line into my jug nicely. Need a little bit more. Just need to like point it in the like general direction. We could do this. We can pop that on. There we go. That's safe. Pop a nut on there. Pump's changing its tune, so it's working. No fuel coming out of here yet. Let's see if it probably doesn't have enough to overcome the pressure relief valve. So here's my trailer. See if I can get some fuel out of there. Okay, we got good fuel there. We got power there. All right. And no smoke whatsoever. Okay, I'll grab some ether and we're gonna unplug this fitting right here because that'll make that go full fuel. It's kind of a safety, like a default. It thinks you just want to go, so that's what we're gonna do. And then maybe give it a little bit more ether. Try and bypass any high pressure oil leaks, and then that's about it. I need more batteries. Okay, so I added a couple batteries. I shouldn't lay these there. Pump's going, we got fuel. There's a couple fuses that are missing. So I'm gonna just pop some random fuses in here. Let's pop in a 20 in this one. Pop in a 15 in this one. I don't know if these are working. These are kind of breakers. I think those are more lights. I'll pop a 25 in that one, 10 in this one, and then a 15 in this one. And now let's see if she'll crank. Check trans is on, that's not good. Oil in the water. Nothing. What I'm gonna do is check that the proper pins have power to the ECU, and then I'm stopping. All the way. It smells like something. Hold on. Is that smoke? Or just my leftover ether? It's just ether. Okay, so checked all the pins on the black plug, and I only had one with power, no ignition. So then I moved all these relays around, and one of them started clicking. I don't know, we'll try. That's the end of my batteries. I will try to get my cords and leave them plugged in for a bit and give it a boost, but other than that, I think I'm gonna have to push it off and just tear the whole truck apart. That's what happened. Now that I've got key power with the fuses, I now have key power on terminal 46, I believe, on the black plug. And that in turn turns on these relays here up on the firewall. So I'm just gonna check one more thing and try one more time. And then that's basically it. This is a relay, this is a relay. Somebody's already been in here. Somebody's already checked this out. So all I'm gonna do is connect these two together, connect these two together, these big guys. One more thing I gotta check when you're cranking, the voltmeter or the RPM needs to go up a hair, because that'll indicate that the cam sensor's good. Either way, I'm not buying any parts for this. I just kind of want to see some smoke come out the tailpipe and make that boom go up and down. So here we go. Okay, so the one relay was for the starter, so I left that one alone. The other one I think turns on more stuff in the computer. Now the only way to shut it off is cutting the wire, because I've connected them together. So my transmission line was snapped off the bottom of the cooler. So if it fires up, I gotta shut it off right away. I will keep my pliers handy, but I'll try it. This is the last step, and then after that, nothing else. Nothing. Ain't gonna go. No go. So I double checked that the RPM gauge is working inside, and it is. And my catch can is full of oil now. I guess if it had no oil in it, it wouldn't run either. It's got oil in it. And that is why nobody likes the DT466E. Now, I'm not spending any more time or any money on this thing. 17,000 hours, miled out. We bought this thing just because of the roll-off, and that's it. So we're pulling this roll-off off, and it is going on our Fargo. Now, why go through all this trouble? Because I wanted to build the perfect kind of 5-ton truck. I wanted specific hydraulic brakes so anybody could drive it. I wanted that cab originally, because when I saw that dump truck, when we tried to start it, as it stood in the field, the cab was actually in pretty good shape, and that's how the project starts. Then it's like, okay, I want to build a roll-off. So I started looking at roll-off, found the perfect frame and the engine, DT466 mechanical, but wrong hubs. Put the right hubs under there off the school bus. I want the proper transmission. We got the 10-speed. Now we got the proper roll-off. We're gonna build the perfect kind of dream truck that is in that size. This thing is not worth anything. It's miled out, and it's done its job. It's gone, it's past anything saving, so it will be at V&R before too long. We'll be ripping all the good parts off of it, and we'll be moving on. But it goes to show that if you need to buy something right away, it's very expensive. If you take the time and you still work on your project diligently, but you come across the right deal here, there, and there, you can build it on a cost-effective way. We're already way over budget, way more because we didn't even plan on building this truck in the first place, but you can see where my vision is going. I'm very excited. Keep in mind when we painted it, I just did a quick brush job because we're putting that double frame right over top. We'll do a nice job on that paint job, and then she'll be ready for this. We might have to get that sandblasted and cleaned up and a couple welds to do on that thing. We'll hire Vince again, but that's it for this episode. So next episode will be the frame and putting the roll-off body on there. We already have a flatbed, a vintage flatbed waiting for us at V&R, which I'm super excited about. I'm gonna build the exhaust into that flatbed as a headache rack, and that'll allow us to put on dump boxes and a camper on the back of that, a roll-off camper unit that we can use with our families without the exhaust getting in the way. So I'm thinking about all this stuff in the meantime, and I hope you guys are thinking about your projects too. Become a member on our website, thebossgarage.com. All the companies that we work with, you get the same discounts that we do. That way you can get to the end of your build quicker on a more cost-effective manner. Share your progress on that website as well. There's a place to upload pictures of your projects and a really good community just to help you out. So thanks for watching, guys. Make sure you subscribe and hit the bell so that you don't miss anything, because we're all over the place and every project is epic. Here we go.